everyone, and welcome to another episode of Local Business Spotlight. My name is Diana Lockie. I'm a local real estate agent with Pinnacle Group Realty here in Cary, and also serve Apex and Raleigh areas, as well as Holly Springs and Fuquay Varina. And today, I usually do local business interviews, but today I'm fortunate to meet Tom Burchhardt. He wrote a book on mindfulness. So when I heard that, I said, you know what, this would be great, a little bit of break from businesses and just talk about, especially with the New Year resolutions, some of us want to be try to be closer to God or spiritually improve our spirituality. So I thought, why not? This would be wonderful to talk about mindfulness and also, to show the book that he wrote. Tom lives in Raleigh, so another local author. So welcome, Tom.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Great, yeah. So this is the book. So tell us about your book.
So, I guess a while back I had a mindfulness coaching company, and there was just this drive for me to create something for people to better understand mindfulness the way that I understand it. And it was just so difficult for people to comprehend it, right? And so in that process, I developed a 6-week program for people to really demystify the idea of mindfulness and meditation so that it was easier to handle. I think a lot of people have had maybe misconceptions or misunderstandings about what mindfulness is, what meditation is, what they do, how they can be beneficial. And so I really wanted to make it more of a bare bones understanding, okay, this is actually what it is, and this is how you can integrate it into your life. And as we were talking before we got on our chat here, this is something you can integrate into your life as a Christian. This is something you can integrate into your life in any belief system. This is something you can just integrate into your life when you go for a walk, right? So it really makes it accessible. And that was really the goal for me writing this, was the accessibility of mindfulness and meditation for everybody, because it's really something that everyone can utilize to just have a clearer mind and a better view of their own life, and then in turn, bring that into other people's lives.
Yeah, I read the book, and I like how you don't really have to set a time to say, okay, I'm going to be meditating from this time to this time, but just integrate it throughout your whole day.
Oh, absolutely.
With any tasks you do. Like,
yep.
I like the part when you're saying, when you're washing the dishes, you focus on the warmth of the water.
Yeah.
And it's actually what I do, what I like about, doing housework sometimes, not all of it, but I like washing dishes, for example. And that's because most of our life is work, owning a business or trying to go to school and raise a family. There's a lot of tasks, and if you don't make those enjoyable, then you're just gonna be miserable after day. Yeah.
And not only is it making those tasks enjoyable by being present with them, it's that presence keeps all of the other tasks from piling up and making you stress as much, right?
Yeah.
We have our children, we have our jobs, we have our, every aspect of our life, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. So those minutes where you get to be mindful and present in that moment, not only are you enjoying each thing that you're doing that much more, but you're taking away some of the stress of the stories that you're telling in your mind about what's going to happen next, or what happened before, or things along those lines.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I like the part when you say, let's focus on the person that you're spending time right now, your conversation at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's for us also as real estate agents, it's so important to just open our ears and just listen.
Oh, yeah.
And be present with our clients so we can just, understand exactly what, the client's needs are. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure with, your business too. So yeah, tell us also about what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I am a financial advisor for families and businesses.
Yeah.
So that mindfulness comes into play in what I do as well, and being able to provide that kind of information to people across the board is something that's the mindfulness stuff, as much as the financial stuff, is very important to me.
Yes, yeah. So where are you originally from?
So I'm from upstate New York, as are many of the people in the Raleigh-Durham area at this point. But I've been here about 15 years. And in my time, I've lived in Raleigh, I've lived in Cary, I've lived in Pittsboro, I've lived in Durham. So I've really had the opportunity to enjoy a large portion of our area. And it's definitely home for me. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah. It's a very nice place to be. There's so much variety of, in terms of nature, or if you want to be in the city, you can be in the city, and do, city stuff. You can be in nature, you can enjoy, parks and lakes and fishing. Like, I feel like any hobby you have.
Oh, everything is here.
Yeah,
Everything is here. And if you want to go to the beach, it's 3 hours. If you want to get out to the mountains, it's 3 hours. There's, this place has everything. It's really a remarkable spot.
Yes, yeah. So, why did you decide to write this book?
I see a lot of people struggling, and I saw myself struggling. And one thing that absolutely saved me in my struggles was mindfulness and meditation, being able to be more present and being able to look at what's going on in my mind without judging myself for it, and being able to process things. After losing my father, after going through a lot of stressful events, I needed something. And my something was going into nature and hiking, but also mindfulness and meditation. And it was difficult to understand what it was. And it was difficult to understand how to do it, because there are so many online gurus and so many people who make you think that it has to be this way or it has to be that way, that there was a stress in trying to not stress. And finally I figured it out. And so I wanted to be able to provide the Cliff's Notes version of what mindfulness and meditation really is, so that other people didn't have to sift through all the minutia to be able to just get a clear understanding of what it is and how it can help.
Yes, yeah. And you also talked about having hobbies, which is a good practice to just get started on mindfulness if you're not good at it, but having a hobby, something enjoyable for you to do. But also you talk about how to pick a good hobby, because hobbies can be stressful.
Yes.
Hobbies can be expensive.
Yes.
So what is the priority in picking a hobby? Is just like you said, it's have to let yourself just kind of get into the zone, help you be in the zone. So.
I think there needs to be some natural enjoyment out of it. If you're doing something because someone else told you to, or you're doing something for some purpose that doesn't feel completely in line with who you are, then you're a little bit out of alignment. So it really might be harder to really find that joy in that. And to each their own on whatever they choose, right? But if you find joy, like authentic joy, it makes it a lot easier to show up. It makes it a lot easier to get lost in what you're doing, right? And so with the idea of mindfulness just being like intentional focus, if you can intentionally focus on whatever it is and you're deriving some sort of joy from it, you're already winning, Even if it's washing dishes, you're already winning, right? And so that's, everybody, and then it comes back to that conversation of there's so many things to do here. It can be, it can be fishing, it can be hiking, it can be, going to church, it can be, just so many things available to us here. And, one of those wine and painting classes, it could be anything, right? But if
Mhm.
you derive joy from it and you can intentionally be there and focus on it, then you're in it. And that's what that goal is that we talked about in the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so yeah, we talk about like what person should read your book. You said like it is for everybody. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, I read it and I can see how everyone can adapt it to their, religion or spirituality
Yeah.
focus. So yeah. So what motivates you?
That was an interesting question to pose, and my answer is maybe a little bit cliche, right? Where it's just I want to help people, right? Um, but that's the actual answer, right? um, I've had a lot of life in my life. I've had a lot of things happen to me, and for me, better or worse, I've had a lot of things happen, and I've learned a lot of lessons. And so I like to think that, I am in a space where I can empathize and show up for people, and provide for people in ways that might be useful and beneficial. So maybe they don't need to go through all the things I did to be able to get where they want to be. And so that's the drive for everything I do. Like, it can be business related, it can be, writing my book, it can be time with my daughter, it can be time with friends. It's trying to show up and help as much as I can for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in essence, serving
Yeah.
everyone. Like
Yep.
yeah. Um,
Not easy always. I'll throw that in there.
no, it's yeah.
It's not always easy, but
Mhm.
when you always end up going back to it, that's your reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your goals over the next year?
Um, that was another good question, because
Yeah.
then that really had to make me think, like, what do I want? Um,
Well, it is New Year, so you must
it is
have,
New Year, so you have to
you
really,
must have resolutions.
yeah,
I
you
have
have
more
to
than
think
one.
on it.
I'm,
You
I'm
have
the
to
one.
think on it. I want to be a success. I want to be a success for myself. I want to be a success for my family. I want to be a success for my daughter. I want to be a success for anybody that I can help. Um, I want to focus on my time with my daughter, because she's number one, and she's an amazing human, and kind and compassionate, and I'm grateful to have her in my life. Um, I want to focus on my friendships, and I want to focus on people I love and my family, and make sure I'm showing up for them. And I think a lot of it is just showing up, like, as best I can for myself and for people I care about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Your presence.
Yeah.
Your mindful presence.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, what else do you do besides work?
Oh, yeah. So hanging out with my daughter
Mhm.
is a huge one. We go camping a lot. We play Minecraft a lot. We do arts and crafts. Um, we just have a lot of fun together. Like I said, she's an amazing person. Um, Spending time with my girlfriend is very important to me. She's also an avid hiker. We like just going out and doing things, and yeah, and that takes up a lot of my time.
Yes.
And then working stuff,
Work, yeah. Yeah, work. But as long as we're mindful in
Yeah,
everything, so it
exactly.
doesn't feel like work as much, right?
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. So, we're almost, thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for this conversation.
Absolutely.
And we're almost ready to wrap up. But before we do that, can you tell our audience what's the best way to reach you?
So if you're interested in the book, you can find that on Amazon. If you're interested in contacting me, we have my phone number and my email, and I think, will that be provided?
Yes, I can post that.
Yeah, and those would be, or you can track me down on LinkedIn. I'm on there too. So those are probably some of the best ways to get in touch with me.
Well, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I note that on the blog that we're gonna write for you.
Thank you.
And thank you. And with that, that concludes our episode for today of Local Business Spotlight. And again, my name is Diana Lockie, and I'm a real estate agent with Pinnacle Group Realty right here in Cary. And with that, thank you.